Okay, thanks, Chairman. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here to share some experience about the performance-based contract, its implementation in China. I come from Jiangsu Transportation Research Institute, that's JSTI Group. Actually, the performance-based contract is not a new idea in the world. It was originated since more than 30 years ago, but to China, it's somehow new and fresh methods for us. And I'll share you the experience in three parts. First, the background of the PBC. What's the difference between the traditional method-based contract and the PBC? In traditional method-based contract, the payment to the contractor is based on the amount of inputs. Example, the cubic meters of asphalt concrete, number of working hours, rather than the performance which we want it to be. And PPC is a type of contract in which payments for management and maintenance of road assets are very closely linked to the contractor, which we require the contractor successfully meeting or exceeding certain clearly defined performance indicators. Why use PBC? To speak frankly, or to speak very briefly, the only reason is we want to save money, especially in a long-life cycle. And at the same time, we want to keep our road at a better condition. This kind of contract has benefits to mutual sides, for clients and for contractors. We want this contract to be a win-win contract. For clients, we can fix long-term agreement and only one tender for many years, and fixed yearly payment, increase of road assets, constant monitoring of road condition. And for contractors, the most important is the contractor can get a fixed long-term agreement, and they can work proactively rather than the traditional contract. They work sometimes passive. Also, there are some application model of the PVC, for example, a pure or hybrid. Some parts could be the traditional method-based contract. To implement the PPC, there are some issues need to be solved, especially some key issues. The first one, I think, is how to choose and define the key performance indicators and determine its target or our goals. The selection and definition of indicators should be based on the expectation of the client, the road user needs, the contract period, and the present situation of the asset. And one other important factor is how much the clients could afford. And the second is how to calculate the contract price, especially its overall price. The objective is to obtain a benchmark price for the contract against which bids will be compared later. It should takes these aspects into account, for example, the overall scope and the maintenance objectives of overall contract, maintenance plan, traffic situation, normal and standards, and financial cost. During the implementation of the contract, how to evaluation during the process, and examination, which should be examined during the contract period, to guarantee whether the contractor has met the requirements of the contract. Normally, the performance indicators related to the over condition of the pavement, the roughness, skidding resistance, texture, rutting, surface life, structural conditions, etc. And the contractor's performance is usually evaluated by 3 levels: its management, its performance, and operational. Just now I mentioned is the performance indicators. And the evaluation or examination should be arranged on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis, which depends on different key performance indicators. And the payment is according to the measurement of different cycles. The payment conditions shall be linked to the performance indicators spelled out in the contract. The contractor is paid a fixed price lump sum price in case of compliance with these indicators. If not, penalties shall be set for each indicator and deducted from scheduled payment to the contractor. Okay, so that's some key issues we need to take into account in our final contract. Here is just a very brief case study. Actually, in China, the traditional model, this kind of maintenance model is very popular, which means first we design, and then contractor bidding, and then contractor operates the construction or maintenance work. PPC is still tentative, but we know it's a comprehensive system. This project is located at the Guizhou province. Its number is route number is G60 with the total length of 146 kilometers, which is constructed in 2006, and which use the traditional China semi-rigid pavement structures, as you can see, with 15 or 150 millimeters asphalt layers and 360 millimeters cement treated base and 150 millimeters gravels. Until last year, there is no medium or major maintenance, and the pavement condition deteriorated rapidly. The major districts include the transverse and longitudinal cracks, alligator cracks, rutting, pothole, and bad patching. In China, we use the pavement condition index (PQI) to present the whole condition of the road pavement, that is PQI. So it's get a score at 90.75. It's not very good in China actually, especially in expressway system. And based on the pavement condition, this way need medium maintenance, and partial sections need rehabilitation. The contract we proposed is 1 year for rehabilitation, design, and construction. After the rehabilitation, and we'll give the contractor 5 years for general maintenance contracting. That's the total content of general contract. And in the contract scope, which part should be included? After negotiation with the client, we decide the investigation and the detailed design and the rehabilitation construction which should be included. At the ordinary maintenance, the daily maintenance and inspection should be included. Also, in the next 5 years, the preventive maintenance is requested. And the individual measure of emergency repair works, which is included. The same as I mentioned before, we need to set up a key performance indicators in the contract. In this typical case, we use road maintenance comprehensive quality index, which includes two parts. The maintenance technical quality index, that's linked correctly to the pavement condition. This is what we normally used, the PCI, RQI, riding quality, routing depth, and site SFC. Also, we want to monitor the contractor's quality, operation quality, or service quality. So we use another part. We use the maintenance service quality index as a part of our key performance indicator. What's the weight of the different index in race special contract? The pavement condition is about 55%, and the service quality we use 45%. That's a very simple indicators, and we need to set up the goals of its score. After negotiation with the clients, we decided to use this FILO scores for CMQI targets. Another is to calculate the contract price. It is very closely linked to the work scope. So we take into account the cost of investigation and design, especially the detailed design and budget preparation, cost of rehabilitation construction, and engineering changes during the process. And then in the next 5 years, the daily routine maintenance cost, a certain proportion of preventive maintenance cost, periodically maintenance cost, and the financial cost, and some individual measured emergency maintenance cost was covered. How to assess this is very ordinary equipment to monitor, to examine the pavement condition at every quarter, some in every month. And another one is how to pay. The payment method is very important part of this kind of contract. Normally, in this contract, to reduce the risk of the client, we decide to pay the contractors periodically. That means the first year it's the rehabilitation project investment, But after the rehabilitation completed, we only pay 75% for the first year of the rehabilitation, and the rest will be paid every 5% during the last 5 years. And in the next 5 years, the ordinary maintenance cost, the price will be paid quarterly. For each quarter, it's 30%, 20%, 20%, and 30% respectively. And in the payment, we need to adjust based on the real monitored condition the contractors has achieved. So we use the payment pay factors, which is the actual of the CMQI divided the target value. So if these pay factors could be greater than 1, if the contractor make very good quality and provide very good service. There are many risks in this system, or in this kind of contract. So, especially for the contractors, for both sides there is risk. So it needs to be addressed in the contract very clearly. I don't want to just give this in much details. Only one should be noted. We have taken the traffic. The traffic, in case of the very heavy traffic, which grows very rapidly during the contract period, we get adjustment factors. So this is just a very simple economic benefit analysis. And use this kind of contract, we can save about 59 million RMB, and which reduce the total cost about 12%, which is compared to the periodically they used during the last 5 years or last 10 years. And I know the PPC system is somehow, actually it's very complicated. We want it could be used in China more and more. But this project is the first one, and it's not maybe very perfect. But we need to accumulate experience based on this project and make our contract, this kind of contract, more perfect. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.